Oh man. Well, back to the shop.
Hey, welcome to my garage. My name is Cyrus. I'm a professional bike mechanic, and today we're going to be changing an inner tube. Let's get started.
So the first thing we need to do is gather all of our tools. Here we have our cup of coffee, our metric hex key set, 15 millimeter combination wrench, our tire levers, a pair of tweezers, some needle nose pliers, our replacement inner tube, clean rag, soapy water. You never know when you might need a hammer. And of course, we're going to need a floor pump. So now we need to take the wheel out of the bike. First thing we're going to do is undo the brake here. And so the most common type of axle on a bike is called a quick release. So here we're just going to flip this lever, undo it a few turns, and wheel will drop out. If your wheel is bolted on, you'll need your 15 millimeter wrench. And we'll loosen both sides. And unscrew each nut a few turns. Then our wheel will drop right out. If your tire still has air in it, we'll need to let out the rest of the air. This valve is called a Schrader valve, and for that we'll take our Allen wrench and just depress that little valve in there. You might have a different type of valve called a Presta valve. To let the air out of these, you will just unscrew this and just depress it with your finger. We're going to start at the valve with our tire lever. Insert it, pull it over, and slide that side of the tire off. Once we have one tire bead removed, we're going to go ahead and pull out the tube. And with that, we should be able to just pull the tire the rest of the way off. Now what we want to do is check the inside of the tire and see if we can find the culprit. We're going to run our fingers along the inside here. Now we want to check our rim, make sure there's no spokes poking through. So now to put the tire back on, if you want to be professional about it, you line up the logo with the valve, and we'll just put one side on here. It's helpful to use your thumbs to push the tire bead over. There we go. Now that we have one side of the tire on, we'll put our tube in there. And find our valve hole, put the valve through, and start inserting the tube into the tire. If there's too much air in the tube here, it's not going to fit. It'll start to kink, and that can actually cause a flat tire. So we'll double check that our valve is in a nice position here. And starting at the valve, we're going to push the tire over with our thumbs. Before we pump up our tire, we'll just double check that the tire is fully installed, and we'll make sure the inner tube isn't sticking out anywhere. Okay, so now that we have our tire inflated to the recommended pressure, we just want to make sure the tire bead is properly seated. The way we check that is to Make sure this line here is visible all the way around the tire. If you can read the word open here, that means your quick release lever is not installed properly. What you need to do is flip it to the closed position and make sure it's tightly installed. You want the lever to be closed tight enough that it leaves a mark on your hand. Once your wheel is installed, make sure you re-engage your brake here. Give it a squeeze, make sure that's working. And give the wheel a spin. Make sure it spins freely. And that's it. We're ready to roll. Thanks for watching and happy riding.